I've got to speak, haven't I? Welcome, everyone.
Have to.
Welcome to this episode of Audits. I'm really looking forward to this one. Actually, I look forward to all of them. We've got Terry, we've got Ian. We are Audits. Ian Lavelle
Hiya.
from very up north. Terry, sorry. Said it wrong.
Oh, just in time. Just in time, man.
Well, I didn't know how to pronounce it for years, and it was only when you said someone else who got it wrong. And I thought, oh, I need to try and change that. I'm Fiona Taylor. Anyway, we're here. Audits.
Hello, okay,
We
bye.
man the maneuver. So we're on about manning the maneuver. We've already got the next one lined up. So you need to plan your diaries, people. 15th of May, 6:30 again.
Think of me. Think
All
of
about
me.
positivity. That's what we think. It's all about positivity. Amanda, if you do message, can you message one of the others during this? And Sadhna, if either of you message or if any of you message, could you message one of the other two? I find it very difficult to read the messages during this, and I don't want to miss anything, just in case you want to say something. So why don't you man the maneuver? This was sent in as a can you talk about this, please, by our viewer, people. We have one. Our viewer said they sent us or me a picture of a Facebook thread, and we're not attacking anyone, we're not criticizing. So please, guys, when we discuss this, we're just discussing this as the topic.
Adults.
We're discuss. Well, no, because we've still got to say about the adult. There's the possibility of adult. Did you want your camera off, Heather? Is that
Trying to get possession.
all right? You're trying to get in position. So this is not about an attack, and there's no criticism because everything works for somebody at some point. Thank you, Sadhna. It's not an attack. So the post was this. I'm going to read it out because I've got a piece of paper with it written on. If a learner is struggling with a maneuver during a lesson, what is the best course of action? Is it A, let them keep trying until they get it right? Is it B, stop the car, explain the mistake, and then guide them through the maneuver step by step? Is it C, tell them to practice at home instead? Or D, move on to another maneuver and return to it later? Now, there were loads of other options and loads of people, loads of ADIs, PDIs, and everyone else DIs were trying to help with suggestions and options and opinions and things. But let's have a go at it. Let's have a go. And I'm going to bully Ian first.
Right. I think you've got to ask, you've got to go through moments like this to recognize when they're happening. And all of the options that you mentioned and a few more, there'll be things that you work through to find out what works for some people, what works for other people. I think the thing to aim for is to recognize when it starts to go wrong and jump in with support earlier before it gets to the final four options.
Agreed. I love that. There's a thing.
And I think it's about the earlier you involve the driver with analysing what's going on and how that makes them feel, the easier it is to turn that situation around.
Absolutely. You got the positivity going. Full on link there for the next audit. Yeah.
So that's the number 16 just ran over my back as I was thrown under it. Thank you very much, Faye.
Thank you, Ian. Right, Terry, your turn. Bus.
I'm not sure what you want me to say, man, because Ian said it like really, really, really good, didn't it, lad?
Yeah, I did. He did.
Well, the trick is not to tell me what you're going to ask me, and then I just have to make it up.
Yeah, but it's much more fun this way. Sorry, I'll get Terry. I'll take it because Terry just deferred to you as well. Really cleverly. See, the good thing about holding the record button is that I get to ask you two first. I can't keep my mouth shut anyway. Um, it is. It is. I think you've hit the nail on the head, and I think there's something else that you can do with alongside the positivity. There's also there's something in the back of my head thinking about preventing that discomfort happening in the first place. Because usually, if the setup is right, and I think we're speaking along the same things, Ian, if the setup is right before you've got to that point, they should feel comfortable about messing it up. So, who's uncomfortable? Is it? Because there's two people that get uncomfortable. One is the ADI. That's wrong. That's wrong. You haven't told me it's wrong. You're not sorting it out. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. Because we're the experts in the accuracy. That's what we are. We are the experts in the standard, if you like, the accuracy and the what the right thing is. And we have to be that because we need to be able to help people reach a standard that's going to be okay. They're the experts on themselves and how to get to something higher. That's the problem. So sometimes it's about the understanding and the positivity. And if the understanding and the positivity is there, people feel differently about coming up with their own solutions and being able to say, well, this isn't going right. And if they can bring it up for us, then it takes the pressure off. And I think that's the thing. Sometimes it's that we're the experts and there's the, and I've got the answer. The ADI, the PDI, we all have the answers. Have you got a thought yet, Terry?
I have. I can't think of the words I want. What well, when a doctor, um,
Diagnose.
yeah. So this sounds a lot like prognosis before diagnosis. Is that the right way around?
Identify, analyze, and remedy. So we're going for
No.
no.
No, it's not what I meant then. Said it wrong then. It's. I think it's important to make that point again, and this is what I'm trying to make because it's such a good point you both made. It's how did you get to that situation in the first place? What's happened before that, where the student is getting so stressed about doing a maneuver or getting it right that, for want of a better word, they explode
Yeah.
or they give up, or whatever. It's what came before that's 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 the cause. I think that's a really good point you both made, and I think it's important to bring it out again. Can't think of a bloody word again. Is it Friday yet?
Sadly
What?
not. Sadly not. It's interesting. It's interesting because we're all, we're all thinking about this, but we've all started with where both people are at before it's got to this option. And that's the only way I can address this.
That I thought.
Go on then.
I don't know if Ian said it earlier in his first opening gambit. But say the options again on the question, Fiona.
Let them keep trying until they get it right. Stop the car, explain the mistake, and then guide them through the maneuver step by step. Tell them to practice at home instead. Move on to another maneuver and return to it later.
You see, in my head, I can see a situation where all those are right.
Absolutely.
And that's a bit of a silly question, isn't it?
They're all wrong.
Another point he's trying to make. But
Yeah. No, but well, that is what Ian said, and that's what we can
it
all.
was Ian, was it? Okay, well, I'll listen next time. Maybe.
They are all correct, but they are also all not quite.
Yeah.
Like you say, Fiona, it's about how you got to that point. You know, we're jumping into a cake and finding the mouse in the middle of the cake. How did the mouse get there?
Right, next time he offers you cake, Fiona, say no.
Do you know what I mean? How did the mouse get there? Why did it get to that point where those are the only options that are left? And I think what you said before is about the setup. It's, yeah, the worst lessons I've ever done is when I think the pupil's going to do something and the pupil thinks I'm going to help them.
Yeah.
You know, one of those lessons.
The worst lessons I've ever done are the ones where I've helped.
The
Yeah.
worst lessons I've ever done, ones I turned up for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once you've helped, you keep helping.
Well, it's a design flaw of most ADIs. That's what we want to do. If you say, why did you come into this industry? You almost always hear someone say, I want to help other people drive safely and not die.
But it's that what does help look like to them?
Exactly.
And understanding that the way help looks like to the people we're working with is down to the individual we're working with.
Yeah. My driving instructor helped me. Absolutely, 100%. I wish he hadn't done it that way, though. I'm still going to monk on for my entire life about that quarter light.
What? Wait. What the hell is monk on?
It's me not swearing.
Oh, you made it up. It's not a real word.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two questions there. Real word or you made it up?
Monkton's a place.
Terry, what are you monking on about now? Says Terry, the man who makes up accents, pretends they're Geordie and the rest of
Don't make them up. They're already there. I'm just copying them for the worst of my ability.
Oh,
I am making words up. In the same way that my driving instructor did about the quarter light.
You should tell us what happened, Fiona. You haven't told us what happened about that.
Oh, stop it. Can you tell me? Can you? No.
Yeah.
I do have a think about it. Do think about the setup, people. Do think about how this person has got to that place where they say, yes, I want to have a go at this thing. I want to do this maneuver, whatever it is, seeing as we are talking about maneuvers. I want you to think about how that process has been achieved. Some people like to do the full briefings, other people like to do everything, anything. Some people, it's the videos and the books and the whatevers. How have you got to the point where the person said, yes, I want to have a go, or I want to repeat that? And then also ask yourself, what's my role in this? What is my role in this? They call it risk management on a standards check or a part 3. But what is my role in this in terms of having a conversation and being supportive to that person? Because if our role is to say this, that, and this, that, are we putting too much in? And is that one of the precipitators?
I think we've got to let go of being judge, jury, and executioner. For that.
I had someone I taught to drive over a vast amount of years because she kept running out. Excuse me, she kept running out of money. I taught a whole bunch of maneuvers, coaching styley. Like, we'll have a go and, see what happens and then tell me what you think about it. Just have a go. One maneuver, I said you need to do this, that, and this and that, and the blind spot here, and I learned there, and this when that gets to the. And when it came to the recap, all those years later, she said, "Right, I want to work on my manoeuvres today because my test, I want to work on all my manoeuvres. I'm fine with these, but that one I'm doing last." I said, "Why is that?" She said, "That's the one I don't know how to do." I asked her why. She could do all of the others without a thought or a care or a recap. I'm just going to have a go. I said, "Why is it that you want me to tell you and explain?" She said, "Fiona, it's your fault actually, because you taught me that maneuver and you gave me reference points, and everything else you just let me have a go. So it's your fault." And she was right. I hate feeling shameful, but I really did. And I could see it. She said, "I'm going through all of this, and I'm getting worked up because I can't remember when you said to do the blind spot, when I have to do this. What about the light and the cluster and the mirror and something?" So I messed it up. And it's horrible. So it's judge, jury, and
Executioner.
yeah. It's weird though. And it's very strange that she told me that she had the wherewithal.
I think the other thing to remember is you can't move up a ladder without knowing where the rungs are.
I was going to ask
why
you,
you'd never see Dalai Lama and Ian in the same place.
I was going to ask you, Terry, to explain what Ian just said, but your face was what I was thinking.
Well, I think Ian, what basically Ian is saying is he grew up watching Fred Dibner.
I did. Great entertainment. It looks a bit aged now when you watch it back.
He was mental. Anyway, sorry, digressing. If you don't know Fred, if you're too young for Fred Dibner, people,
I am.
you're not. YouTube Fred Dibner. Mental.
But if you're into health and safety, don't watch any of it.
Look away now. Oh God. Anyway, sorry. You have to climb a ladder. You need to know where the rungs are. Is that what you said?
Yeah. You have to have some idea where the next rung is.
That's why I read that in the Buddhist temple once.
Is that before you came back as Terry Leftree?
Yeah. You have to know where the rung is. Go on, explain. I think I know what that means, but go on, give us an explanation.
Well, if somebody was trying to climb a ladder and the
No, leave the ladder alone. Forget
What?
the ladder. Explain
this. I think sometimes giving them a framework can help temporarily.
She didn't need it though.
No, I get that. But sometimes they need a starting point. And that might be
this is what I was talking about.
And tell me where you can see X.
Yeah.
Use that.
But this is what we were hinting at with the setup. I misunderstood the setup. Or how the setup should be for her. She needed to put her feelers down and find her own rungs, Ian.
But if she can't, she's never going to get up that ladder. Or that might inhibit her from having a go to get up the ladder if she doesn't know where the first one is.
Wow.
I'm getting a headache.
Have you got something to say important then?
No, what one then? Say is important, Fiona. Come on. I'd want to just touch on the point that the question makes about someone being stressed. And let's just say someone gets stressed at and upset and angry or frustrated or whatever the word you want to use or when doing a maneuver. If that is happening, stop.
Mhm.
Learning will not take place in that mood, in that frame of mind. So stop. What I used to do when I was teaching loiners is I'd get them out the car. I said, jump out, jump out. Let's have a chat out of the car. And we might go for a walk around the car a couple of times or walk up the road and back again, just not far, 50 yards and back. And just chat about what's happening. Because what that does is it resets the brain. When they get back in the car, it's almost like a new go again.
Yeah.
A fresh start, a fresh start and they can go back and do it again. But
Yeah.
because you've got out of the car, changed the surroundings, got back into the car again, it's like a new start for the brain, and it just resets and it reframes the feelings.
Totally.
And it's just any time they're getting stressed, just take them away from that area, that scenario, get them out of the car, chat, not long, whatever you want. But it's the fact of them opening the door and getting back into the car again that resets the brain. So
That
little tip there for you, people.
That works for learners. It works for PDIs.
Mhm.
It works for ADIs. Oh my God, I've been 30 something years in this injury and I've just failed my second standards check. Can you help me? It helps all of us. It's the same principle, actually, Terry, as the faint.
The faint.
Yeah. The faint, the principle behind fainting is the brain shuts off. I can't cope with that.
Oh, actual fainting. Oh, sorry.
The faint being too much pain, too much emotional pain, and the brain goes, no, and it shuts off, it reboots, you wake up and you go, well, that's in history, but it's still horrible.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing. Yeah.
That's why we faint.
Yeah.
Or alcohol.
Says the man sitting in front of his whiskey barrel cabinet.
I'm fine.
Yep. But the alcohol doesn't leave the memory.
No.
Not the moment
dear.
getting that as a training method.
What, fainting?
No,
I don't think
using
that's
alcohol.
yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah. No, but it works really well. It's changing something. And it's a massive thing. I've done it loads of times, just walking to a post. We're going to walk over and read the parking to see how long we can park here without getting a ticket. And it literally just resets.
Yeah, it does. I did it the other day. There wasn't anything. I've got a lot of mud and stones and stuff to move in the garden, and I was bashing away at the weekend. And I've got like bashing thing with a thing I was bashing about. It hit a stone and it flew off, and I was. Do you know what? No, I'm gonna go inside, sit down, watch a bit of football, come back out. Did that, came back out, right. Oh, okay, here we go. Let's put that back on, blah, 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 blah. And it's just refresh and bashing away in the mud again.
There you go. It works. I think it's really good. So the brain needs a reset. Absolutely. So think about how you set up the maneuver. Agree a plan if it's not how you want it to be. Agree what to do before. And does it have to be perfect? Why? I don't know why people think you need to do a maneuver and it needs to be perfect or spot on or better than the last time. I read something the other day. I don't know if you read it. I feel really sorry for people who ask genuine questions and they get bullied on Facebook. Just saying, I find it really sad. About crossing the lines to get in a bay. And it's like, well, if you don't squish the other car next to you, it's not really a problem, is it? But if people are worried about it, or someone says you can't cross the line to get in a bay, but people cross the lines when they end up wonky, and it isn't a problem, is it? So it's like where people haven't thought it through. But isn't it the setup as well is just to say to the person, and if it doesn't go in, what will you do? Or, if you touch the curb, then what? Just talk about it. So I think people get really worked up on it has to be. It has to
Shouldn't be any pressure to get something right.
apart
That's the
from
thing.
audits. Apart from audits, the recording and the uploading to the interweb.
Yeah, but even when you phone us up crying and you can't do it, it's like, so, so what? Put the knife down, Fiona.
When
It's
I
not a
asked
toy.
technical support. Yeah. No,
All about the setup, isn't it, man?
it is. It's all about the setup. And who's explained to who or whom? Is that a whom moment? Who's explained the maneuver in the first place to whom? Because very often it's the briefing thing. And that can be an issue as well. Does anyone want to say anything? Terry, Ian? Briefings, not
Oh, and I've got any briefings? Don't know. It's not on briefings. I'm in a good mood. Anyone got any questions from? Let's put it out to the question time. Any questions from the floor? Fiona Bruce has got a big, deep voice.
Hang on, I've got a question. Look, got it. Oh, one of my students goes absolutely blank when they're doing any manoeuvres. I encourage her to just have a go, no expectations. She gets it in every time. Her previous instructor insisted on reference points. She's completely confused which reference points to use for each manoeuvre. I'm working on her confidence and her ability. There you go.
I know the answer. I'm going to say the word is mad. That's the answer. Start the sentence again. How's it go?
It's not a question. She's just saying.
Yeah.
One of my
First question.
students goes absolutely blank.
Right, blank. The word is mad. That fits in there. Oh, we are playing in blankety blank, right? No?
No.
I thought we were playing blankety blank. You said my student goes absolutely blank. But, sorry.
Oh, God.
That took so long and it's not even funny.
It wasn't worth it, Terry. It wasn't worth the time that we were
I
raising
am
for.
laughing. All right, that's the main thing. I don't care. Say it again, so I wasn't listening
That's
after
just
blink.
brilliant. And it's the no expectations. So you're taking the pressure off. As soon as you take the pressure off, it's brilliant. The next question is there any other advice? Ooh, Chris is here. Hang on. Is there any other advice you can give me to help her? I think you're doing brilliantly on your own. I think just to have the conversation, are the reference points, did they help? And if they didn't, I'll come to you in a second, Vicky. I've got you. But did the reference points help? And this is the thing. Can I tell you what happened today during a session with 2 full license holders? After Vicky.
This is suspense, man.
I'm just interested to see if there's more of a fixation on trying to help the learner get it right due to the trigger points now. Have you noticed anything change since the trigger system has come in? Or have people always been obsessed with just getting it right?
Has anyone had any information about setting off trigger points?
I've not noticed anything, Vicky, no.
No, I don't think so. I think that was just something to get us to think about what we're doing. To get us to focus on YouTube videos on maneuvers. Yeah. And again, that's down to people's personal choice. Some people put chili in their food. I tend to cry. Can't handle that. Today, I was with 2 full license holders. One started learning about 8 years ago, passed about 1 year ago. The other one had been driving probably as long as me. And they were both incessantly driving with the clutch down. Like something happened, clutch down. It's like the light moved or somebody went, clutch went down. I know it's not a maneuver, but it's part of a process, isn't it? So I could have just said, I could have started having a go, but I just asked them a question. Have you noticed what you do with your left foot? And there's no weight behind it. And the newer driver, the one that had passed just about a year ago, said, my instructor told me I shouldn't do it, but didn't say how not to do it and didn't say why.
Knowledge is a wonderful thing, isn't it? On its own, it's brilliant.
I think that's an important point. Sometimes you've got to learn what not to do in order to learn what to do.
Oh,
What did you want to?
They both sorted it out within minutes, to say. Even the 30-something year driving one. What, Terry?
What?
Oh, all right. Well, it's your turn to speak and say something, or is it yours?
I just think that's an important point that people, we forget that in the learning process, we need to learn what not to do sometimes rather than learning what to do.
Yeah, well, I didn't make it a negative thing because I just said, what do you do with your left foot? She told me.
But from the information you gave us, they've not been encouraged to find an alternative.
Or to find out why.
Yeah. Knowledge on its own is useless.
He's all Dalai Lama tonight, isn't he?
Yes, isn't he? Do you think he's been?
Oh.
I wonder if he reads.
Well, I'm sitting higher. I'm in the upper story of the house. You see, I'm getting closer to heaven.
Oh, that must be it. Yeah,
Must be.
The setup, and if the setup is, if it goes wrong, I'm gonna intervene, and do you see what I mean? If we have that and we have that caveat or that level of something, it's the same thing when people scale. And I do know I've got a workshop on scaling. However,
you got a workshop on scaling, Fiona.
Oh, yeah.
Scaling.
How often do you do them?
I've got to do some more, but there's a
Where
couple.
can I find information on them?
I have no idea when they are. This on the website. But
Facebook page. Okay.
the scaling thing, but most ADIs start talking about the number, and it's why I wrote that Facebook thing ages ago. That was so innate, she said.
What?
She said that was so innate.
So innate.
It was not innate.
That's how I heard it.
Ian kind of word. That's an Ian kind of word. That was so. It was exactly an 8. It was a brilliant 8.
Okay. Yes. Sorry.
So I just said that, and this was 2011, and that's how relevant that is. 2011, certain thing that we all did around that time. Anyway, and I said, "Oh, well, that's interesting." Thinking, "Oh my word!" And she said, "When I went backwards, I only looked through the middle. I didn't change shoulder, and you had to tell me Oh no, and she did other stuff, but she just recited everything that she did. Well, she said wrong. That was her word. But because she sorted it out, did it matter what number it was? And it's like people use scaling and maneuvers and they give somebody, it's like, and what can you do to get to an 8 or a 9 or a, and does it need to go up? Does it need a number? Anyway, but these are the things we do because then we've said there is a standard and and it needs to be. So we already in the setup make it, there needs to be a certain level of achievement.
I don't know if this is relevant, but I actually heard a great bit of feedback from an examiner at the end of a test the other week, and this kind of it was like throwing a bucket of ice water over me, because it was I think it's actually a brilliant piece of feedback. And what the examiner said was, and I noticed you struggling to check your blind spot. But no, that was the opening gambit. And then she went, remember, you've just got to know what's around you before you move off. You have to be certain you know what's around you. And that might not be the blind spot. And I was thinking, where's she come from? She hasn't come out of the DVS.
She snuck in.
You know, how did she come up here to Dumfries? Why isn't she down training people?
Yeah.
You know,
It wasn't proper feedback, was it?
What do you mean?
It wasn't helpful feedback, was it?
Well, it was just, she was just justifying why she'd marked it. You know, there was a couple of times where I wasn't confident you knew what was around you.
Mm.
She wasn't advocating a methodology or anything like that. What she was doing was just giving feedback on why it had been recorded. Feedback that you could actually think about and do something with. You have to be certain you know what's around you before you move the car. I don't know if that's
set up, and it's not saying do a this or a that. It's
no.
Yeah.
You know, and I think when you get people thinking about how they could do it different to do that differently, that's when the real magic happens.
Mm.
And, you know, the temptation is to open the box or to tell them what's in the box before they've had the joy of opening it and discovering it for themselves.
Yeah.
How would you feel if Christmas, if somebody told you what was in every box you'd got wrapped up in front of you?
Depends what it was. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Right. What have we got then? Think about the setup. The brain needs a rest. So do a Terry, get out, walk around the car, go over and see a fence, come back. Do think about how you're setting it up in the first place. Because if you're looking at your person and you're watching your body language and you're watching everything that's going on as the non-verbal clues, you'll be able to work out what it is. And if all else fails, just ask. Just ask someone, what do you want to do about this? Why do we have to decide?
Mm. Yeah.
Right. You look really sad, Terry, or something.
I look sad. I'm not sad. I'm never sad. I'm happy. I could not be happier.
Have you seen time? We've nearly done an hour.
No, we ain't. Oh, shit. Oh, we have. Oh, okay. Bye.
So, So the next one is Thursday. It's a Thursday. It's the 15th of May. It'll be the same thing, 6:30-ish. And it is be around 6:30. Hi, Chris. Hope you're all right, because Chris came in halfway through. We're doing Thursday evening, 6:30. And the subject is, it's all about positivity, but we haven't got a stupid title yet.
I'll think of a stupid one though. Yeah, we're doing good. Yeah, man. Yeah, we're doing good. Yeah.
Man in the Manoeuvre, really? We womaned it. Loads of women here, just saying.
No worries about that.
Do ever think about how you're doing the setup. Think about your options out there, people, because don't need to be that hard. You can just chill a bit. Much easier to do that stuff. Doesn't have to be how you do it during your training. We need to know. It's not that you don't need to be the expert, but they don't need to be you kind of expert. They just need to be able to do it. Is everyone okay?
Yeah, man. Let's go.
Right, ready? I'm gonna push the button.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Ian's doing. Right.
I've got my Batman and Robin punch.
I still feel like I'm Max Headroom.
Well, you said it.
Anyway, see you next time. See you on the 15th.
Bye-bye, people.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.